So, good morning. It's great to be here with you guys. As Bill said, I recently got my bachelor's degree in religious studies from the Emerson Institute, the Emerson Theological Institute, and that was a long time coming. And we'll talk about that a little bit. So the title of this talk is Act As If, or something I learned in the 12-step groups, fake it till you make it. They like to say that a lot. And, you know, it kind of ties in because my final paper for my degree, and as Bill said, it got turned in at the 11th hour. Not doing it was harder than actually doing it, but I did procrastinate a bit. The topic was the impact or the influence of New Thought principles on my journey as an actor. So you guys know that I do acting, theater. I've done some film, little TV work. Gotten paid a couple times. That's always nice to get paid. And it's been a love of mine for a long time. Since I was a kid. And I wrote about that in my paper. I wrote about my path into acting. I wrote about my journey into New Thought. And we'll talk a little bit about that today. And you know, people have this idea, and it's kind of true, that actors, they fake being someone else. You pretend that you're someone else as an actor. And that's something that I, as a little kid, learned that I loved to do. I loved to pretend and not be me. For whatever reason, it seemed like the greatest thing in the world and came very easily for me. And in New Thought, we sort of act as if when we're doing our affirmations and our prayer work, because that's really the key to successful prayer, is believing that what you're praying for is in manifestation. And in fact, you don't like this, Jesus, you can tell me the verse. Jesus said, "Therefore I say unto you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them." Right? It's about believing that what we have, what we want, we already have. And that can be a real stretch for us sometimes, especially when you're... What's that?
Matthew 21:22.
Matthew, there we go. Boom. I knew he would know that. I didn't even have to write it down. Believing what we have, well, believing that we have what we want can be very difficult. We're in the midst of not having it, right? If we're having a health challenge and we're praying for health and wholeness, if we're having prosperity challenges, you know, we don't know how we're going to pay the rent, but we're praying about abundance and prosperity. Whatever it is, if you're praying for fitness and you can't run a mile, and that's humbling for me. Some of you guys know my background, but that is the power that infuses the oomph, as Bill talked about in the God Call, or in the reading. The oomph that puts that energy into our affirmative prayer, into our affirmations, into our practical prayer, spiritual mind treatment, whatever you want to call it. That belief that we can have, that we do have what we want, really puts it into power. In fact, you guys know the 4 P's of practical prayer? Powerful, personal, positive, present tense. Boom, present tense. We put that in there, present tense. Right now, I have this good now. That is key to success in prayer. And like I said, it's not easy, but there are tricks we can do, right? And some of the things that I learned about acting, some of those tricks, we can employ that in our prayer work, because you tell yourself, and we can write affirmations, and you can try this at home, write an affirmation for yourself and see what comes up about, oh yeah, sure, right, sure. The blurts, as we've learned about in the artist way. But there's this thing, you've probably ever heard of method actors. Anybody heard of a method actor? Did people know what that means? Bill's heard of it. Bill knows what that means. So there's this guy, Stanislavski. He was a Russian actor, writer, playwright, and he taught acting. And he came up with this method, and it was kind of at the time revolutionary, because actors would essentially pretend to be upset, pretend to be happy. And this method he talked about was actually feeling that, being happy, being angry, being in love, not pretending, not acting like you were, but actually doing that and drawing on your own personal experience through life, which is called sense memory, or emotional memory that you can draw on. And we can do that in our prayer work as well. If we want joy and we're feeling really sad, we know there's times in our lives when we've felt joy. And we can connect to that and tap into that. And it's right there. It's an experience that we've had. It's a part of us. And also, the good news is, which is what we believe, that Bill said at the top, and we believe there is one, this idea of divine mind, that we are connected to that divine mind. And we have access to all the good that ever was and ever will be in the world. So that good's available to us whenever we want it. The other thing I learned about acting is to bring my full self to the work, right? I have to be present and fully alive, be willing to open up and explore all my experiences, my fears, my hopes, my dreams, and bring a lot of that into the acting work. Same thing with our prayer work. We have to be open, really look at ourselves, see what our beliefs are, because it's not just our thinking, right? It's really about what we believe, because our beliefs are what really manifests in our lives. And we can, good news is, we can change our beliefs through our thinking, right? Maybe it's little by little, but as we think positive thoughts, as we change the way we think about ourselves and our lives, our beliefs can change. Maybe you think, traffic's always horrible when I leave at this time. Think differently about it. So, okay, today, maybe it's going to be better. Today, the bridge won't be backed up. And as you start to think about these things, they can change your belief. Here's the other thing, and we can kind of work this around, but what I learned was talent is not enough. You have to do the work. And that is very true in the spiritual stuff. Bill likes to talk about sitting on our purple pillow. We can't just sit on our purple pillow and wait for all the good. We have to be active. We have to participate. Same thing with my acting work. I have to put in the work, study the lines, learn the story, learn the props, learn how to put the costumes on sometimes because they're really fun to put on. I like to play dress up. But to really put in the work. And there's I think it's an African proverb, pray and move your feet, right? To pray and then get out in the world and do the things. I had a teacher once who said, trust Allah, but tie up your camel. So it's the idea of putting your faith and trust into the prayer, into the infinite, into the universe, but then actually going out into the world and putting feet under it and doing the things that we're inspired to do when we open ourselves up to the universe. Ask questions. It's a big thing in theater and preparing a character. There's a list of questions you ask yourself. So what do I want as the character? What's in my way? Right? What just happened? Which is a great thing to think about when you open a door and you step out onto the stage. You have to know what just happened. What energy are you bringing into that? And those are great questions to ask for ourselves in our lives. Bill and Dave used to talk about John D. MacDonald and his 4 questions. Are you happy with the experience of life that you're having? Right? And if you're happy with the experience of your life you're having, right, you're done. If you're not happy, what do you want instead? What's in your way? Is that the 3rd one? I didn't write them down. I'm winging it. But the key one is know when you get it. How will you know what you have when you get there? Oh, I want to be happy. What does that look like? I want to be in love. With who? Where? What does that relationship look like? I want a good job. What does a good job mean to you? Right? Be specific with the universe. Have what Holmes called a mental equivalent for what you want to experience. This is what Ernie said. The mind is the fashioning factor, and according to its range, vision, and positiveness, will be the circumstances we experience. The mind is the fashioning factor. So you hold in your mind that mental equivalent, the idea, this is what I want. That's going to help you bring that into your experience. And the real question that I think is the most powerful in the acting process and in our experience of life as as people, as spiritual beings, as metaphysicians, as New Thought practitioners, because we're all practitioners, whether we have the stole or not, we are all practitioners. Where is the love? Where is the love? Because it's all love. Even when it doesn't feel like it, even when we can't see it, even when we're in the middle of the stuff that doesn't feel like love, love is there. And that's our challenge sometimes, to find the love. Where is the love? You know, Jo has talked about some experiences she went through with family stuff, and the thing that brought her through it all, and the thing she focused, there's only love. There's only love between us. There's only love. There's only love. And that is so true. Sometimes it's hard to see, but that's at the core of everything, because it's all love. We believe in the one power, love, intelligence we call spirit or God. We say that every day. Sundays. I say it every day. Just kidding, I don't say it every day. Love is the key. Love is the answer. Love is the way. So whether you're acting, whether you're performing on stage, whether you're taking people where they need to go, healing people, bringing music together, teaching, it's all about love, bringing love into the world through ourselves, right? Because we are unique expressions of the infinite, right? It's all one, it's all this one power and presence, but it manifests, expresses into the world as each of us individually. So there's never been anyone like you ever, and there will never be anyone like you ever again. And I love to have this mental image of a piece of glass and the way it refracts the light. You can hold it up and the light will, you can get a rainbow, right, Sarah? You get a rainbow on your wall when the sunlight comes through a certain way. And depending upon how the glass is formed or bent or broken or cracked, it can change how it refracts the light. So we are all unique individual little pieces of glass, if you will. And that infinite light is shining through us, but it's refracting through us as only it can through us. It can't refract through me like it does through Sandy or through Jesus, right? It's only us as unique expressions. So find that love, express it into the world, right? And act as if. Pretend, if you will, that you have what you want. How would you behave in the world? How would you show up in life? How would you feel if you had these things that you want, these experiences, this expression of life? And then go out and be that, do that, feel that way. Take time in your meditation practice to sit with that. If it's joy, if it's love, if it's freedom, health, wholeness. We've had those experiences. We can call up that sense memory, that emotional memory. We can tap into divine mind and channel that into our lives and into expression. So act as if, fake it till you make it, and you will make it. Blessings.